and gentlemen, this is BadgerFest 2019. We are UG Media. We are incredibly lucky to have a couple of members of Swarm.
Amongst. Oh, yeah.
You were going to say against then.
Sworn against.
Right then, absolutely blistering set, guys. Absolutely fantastic. You've been going around for a little while.
Yes.
And you've got a lot of fans.
I hope.
No, well, you've got a lot of likes, which is all stuff on the old Facebook and everything else. Knocking around over the 15-year tenure that you guys have been knocking around. I'm going to go. I usually wait till a little bit for this, but I'm considering that you've been knocking around a bit. What has got to be the weirdest gig you guys have ever played?
Oh, I know.
Straight in for a question.
Well, I'll let you go with that one.
Me?
I don't know. When we actually couldn't play because our singer Jack broke his leg just moments before we played.
that was fun. We had to like sort of pull out of the entire tour because he'd walked out of this venue and it was on a little slant and it was a cobblestone floor, so it was quite slippy anyway.
Covered in water as well.
It was covered in water, and he just bailed. And like, bless him, like he took it like an absolute champion, but like he broke his leg, and we had to pull out.
Spiral fracture, so like that.
We literally had to bail.
Very rarely use heels properly. Yeah.
We had like 4 or 5 dates left of the tour as well, and we had to bail from it because obviously he couldn't do it. So.
No, it must have been a lot of pain as well. Oh dear.
Other weirdest gig is I got asked if I was married in Ireland. We toured Ireland a couple of months ago, and a girl sort of like ran up halfway through, and she was like, "Are you married?" I was like, "No, I didn't have a girlfriend at the time." She's like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" I was like, "Yes." She was like, "Oh, never mind then."
Moments before she raped him.
yeah.
This is consensual, right?
Life's never been the same again.
Yes.
All good stuff.
He said yes, but he had no choice because he had a blade on his neck. True story.
True story.
Cool. You guys think from Hull and Derby.
Yes.
How was your journey here? Because ours was a fucking nightmare.
Okay, actually, because I didn't go on the M1. I avoided it as much as I could. So it was actually alright. It was quite nice. There was no traffic. I sort of left in before peak times.
Yeah.
So it was alright. It was quite nice.
Mine was easy.
Yeah.
Straight down the M62. Straight off. No messing. Straight here.
We tried to get here yesterday, but we were stuck on the M6 car park.
Oh yeah.
For hours. Bloody nightmare.
Luckily, our situation was a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Cool. One could say.
So talking about logistics, what has got to be the hardest got to gig?
I'm going to take this one. We played in Sevastopol, the Crimea in Ukraine, and it took us 4 days to get there driving. So that was quite a henge drive, especially with 10 blokes in a 9-seater van, trying to like spread out. Everyone's like, "Oh fuck, my leg, I've got a cramp," legs are flying out everywhere, like.
We also did we did a tour with a band called Insight earlier this year, and that was in Europe as well. But the first date was in Slovakia, so we literally went like across the border and then travelled through Germany all the way up, and that took us 3 days to get to Slovakia. So we're sort of like the first show. I think the first show was on the Monday.
Yeah.
And we left on the Friday, and we got there Monday. it was a great drive.
One of the shows in there was they'd shut like the main like highway, like that went through the heart of the country. So you had to go all the way over the top through Poland and then around the top and then drop back in. That was a bit of a fucker, that one.
Oh, that was great.
But yeah, we had a great time in a van with a load of blokes.
You soon realise how easy it would be if you were all gay. It's kind of like it cures
a great time.
It cures so much boredom, wouldn't it?
It would. But unfortunately, we're not.
No, that is that. But
very unfortunately, may I add.
20 quid's 20 quid, isn't it? But
some people like to barter, though.
Well, I'm a man for a deal. Anyway.
Stickler for a...
Wicked.
Stickler for a bargain.
Wicked. So you've toured many places,
Yes.
and the metal scene has probably got to be the best scene. There's got to be the best fans and everything else. Where has been, I'd say, the most interesting?
In terms of like fan base or
In terms of my fan base.
Do you know what? Hands down, Scotland is one of the greatest metal scenes ever. Like every time we go up there, we get such a great reception, and everything about it is so good because they appreciate metal so much. It's like they're a very close knit group as well. And you know, we toured with a band a couple of years ago called Lotus Eater, who are very good friends of ours, and they're from Glasgow. And whenever like sort of we go up there, and you know, when obviously that tour came about as well, all of their friends came out, and we all was made to feel welcome, and it's just a great scene. It's a great time. So
Yeah, I like Scotland. Ireland was killer earlier, yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah, we had a good time in Ireland earlier in the year. That
I think
was
more
special.
European countries are definitely the best for the metal scene because they don't. If you look at all sort of like the like your non-typical, so like all the typical touring places like Germany, France, all the big countries like. But if you look at places like Slovakia and Czech Republic and the Ukraine and all things like that, they don't get a ridiculous amount of bands play over there. So when they do, they're so appreciative and they're so humble, and we were so humble to go over there and sort of be treated the way that we did. But you know, it just makes it a lot better. It makes it a lot easier to tour because they're so welcoming and they're just nice people.
Cool.
They always put on a great spread for us, you know, like when we get there, you know, they'll take us out for dinner and stuff like that. So it's like being on a date.
Yeah. A metal scene date.
Cool.
You get wined and dined.
So obviously you've been to a lot of places. What would your advice be to a band that wants to go outside the UK for the first time? What would your advice
Get a
be
passport.
to them?
Yeah, make sure you've got every. I mean, it depends really, because for us it was more. You've got to make sure that it's worth it for you. I mean, every band wants to tour Europe, man. It's the dream. It is the dream to go out of your country and play somewhere different. But at the same time, you've got to make sure that you are gaining something as well. Because if you're sort of going over there and say, for example, you're not, I know it sounds cliche, but if you haven't got any merch, say, for example, you're not going to make anything. So it's going to make your life a bit harder. You're having to rely on what you've saved up. So always make sure that you've got some form of income. Always make sure that, you know, you're happy enough to do it. And always make sure that you're in the right mental state as well, because you're going to be away from home for quite a while. You're in a van or a bus or whatever you go in for X amount of days. So, you know, you've got to make sure that you click with all the rest of your bandmates and you know, make sure that you're in a comfortable position. And
Which is always hard for us because we all hate each other.
yeah,
So body armour is also advised.
non-blunt weapons is always advised.
No. Sharp implements kept away.
Yeah.
It's always no. I think the keep a strong merch game going there because you know got good merch. People are going to buy it.
Rude or intrusive, but what is this gorgeous, sexy man getting interviewed for? I'm Ginger Thatcher, the rapper off the internet.
Okay.
With 2.3 million views, yeah, but he's gorgeous. Why are you getting interviewed? What is it, the eyelashes?
No. Well, maybe.
And his moustache.
If you ever want to ask us what the strangest
like
interview ever was.
Do you know what, actually? I don't know what you're interviewing me for, but I'd be interviewing them eyelashes and them muscles. He's a darling. Not as gorgeous as me fella, like, but yeah.
Oh, well, thanks. Cheers, love.
You have got gorgeous pets.
Thank you.
Okay, so what has been the strangest interview you guys have ever?
Keep saying
That needs to be kept.
really funny.
What the fuck was that? What did she say? She was the Ginger something rapper off YouTube. She's got 2.something million views.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear that, but
And
I was too busy staring into the bottom of my glass. Because I'm a wino.
That threw me off my game.
Me too.
Okay, so to knock around a bit, you've seen a lot of places, seen a lot of people. What has been the strangest recording experience that you guys have ever done, if there ever has
He
been.
always nearly gets thrown out of the studio because he gets angry. And the producer always says, "Look, you're gonna have to leave in a minute."
Do you know what?
Why so much pent up angst?
I love music, I really do, but recording is the bane of my life. I hate it so much. It's because, you know, when you listen to a click track over and over and over again, and you're sort of trying to get you. Oh, right, yep, I fucked up that take again. Beep, boop, boop. All right, I fucked that up already.
I hear that in my dreams because I play to it live as well. So all I hear is like I hear my guitar, and then I hear just beep 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 beep.
One of the
It sounds like my fucking alarm's going off every day, you know.
One of the strangest recording experiences I had is that we tried to beat a world record by eating the most chicken nuggets in one of my last bands. We sat. The producer who produces our music at the moment, who did our last EP, his name's Ben Gaines. Go check out his shit.
Oh yeah, nice one, Ben.
Yeah. So when the last band that I was in, we went to record an EP with him, and we found out that there was a record for the most chicken nuggets eaten in a certain amount of time. It was 80 in 12 minutes. So we bought 100.
80?
Yeah, 80 in 12 minutes. So we bought 100 and got our drummer. And got our drummer.
Smash that.
We got our drummer to try and eat him, but that was a pretty weird, random fucking thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Cool. In return to releases,
Yes.
Have you got anything up and coming?
We're talking about it. You know, like that counts, right?
Yeah, that counts. Yeah,
Yeah, we can do that.
I think, to be honest, look, we're still touring off the EP that we literally just released. Only came out in April, so we're kind of
Famine Records.
Famine Records. Big up. Yeah, so we're still sort of touring off that at the moment, so it's kind of like we're just milking the last bit of it before we go back into the studio. So probably early next year we'll start again, go into the studio and start writing again. It's a long process. Yeah. It's a long process, and we're sort of we're trying to sort of move into a different era of genre now. Obviously, a lot of the stuff that people will have heard Sworn Amongst or will have known Sworn Amongst before, we're trying a new era of music now. So
you know, when every band goes, it's going to be our heaviest track ever. might not be.
It might not be. Yeah.
Might be.
Cool.
You know, like you can't. You know, it's it's going to be our heaviest track ever. We're gonna tune to drop fucking zillion bullshit, and you know, like we're gonna hit the brown note and all. Bollocks to that, you know. No, we're just gonna write some ripping tracks, and we're gonna have a good time doing it.
yeah, man.
Cool.
You can't rush art.
No, definitely can't. Any final words, gentlemen?
Yeah. Stay classy.
Stay classy.
Stay classy.
Sweet. MadMartin, UG Media, Swan Amongst. Thank you very much.